Alright, welcome back. You're still watching Morning Live here on SABC 2, and we're still coming to you live from NTL Baraka Eco Farm here in Tzaneen in the Limpopo province. This is whereby the Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries is officially launching the Arbor Week. As you can see, we're surrounded by trees, beautiful nature. As you can see, there's a huge rock wrapped up by the roots of the tree, but we'll get to show you the beautiful shot of it. This year's Arbor Week is celebrated under the theme Forests and Water, and the campaign really is being used to promote the role of forests in addressing food security, multiple land use approaches such as agroforestry. So that is our focus this morning here. Let me just welcome with me here the Deputy Minister of the Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, Bheki Cele. DM, a very good morning to you, and thank you so much for your time.
Good morning to you and the viewership out there. Good morning to you.
Thank you very much. I must say Limpopo is much warmer than the last time we were in Pretoria. We were freezing, but here it's nice and warm.
Very nice and warm. I only suspect that as the day goes older, we'll get burnt.
I believe so, and we're surrounded by beautiful nature. You and I were talking about this beautiful rock here behind us.
Yes, it's a part of beauty. The tree we see here, though it's a little bit scary if you're close to it, because it looks like this rock is swallowed by a python. It looks like somebody has really designed it. It looks beautiful.
It is beautiful indeed. But now, DM, on to the business of the day. Just before we talk about today's events, talk to us about agroforestry. The only thing that we know about agroforestry is it's the combination of agriculture and forestry.
Forestry is a big business in the world as a forestry, though South Africa were not too big. But the other problem about forestry, it takes long to mature. Then for young people, it's not very much encouraging, it's not very much attractive. What makes it better, and we're working towards that, is to make it agroforestry, which means while you are still waiting for your forestry to mature and harvest and give you some money, you can be doing other things around it. In the forestry, you can grow your peanuts, because it doesn't take very short time to harvest your forest. It takes between 8 and 21 years. That for a young person of 20, if I tell you that go to forestry, you are 20 now, you only harvest after 28 years. After 20, when you are 28, that's your first pay. They get discouraged and get away. But the life is better if you go with agroforestry. And that is the direction of the world, not just South Africa. I'm told that at the present moment, Argentina leads on the agroforestry matters. There are other things that are very amicable with the forest. One of those with your bee business, your production of your honey, things like peanuts, but also you can have a stock like a cattle, where in between your and among your trees you grow beautiful grass where your stock graze, and that takes much shorter time while you're waiting for the real harvest of your forest and the tree. That's the direction that we're taking when we talk about agroforestry. Don't wait for a very long time to harvest as you're waiting and going towards the bigger harvesting.
All right, now there is so much into agroforestry, DM, as you have just explained. But Arbor Week, that your department is launching Arbor Week today here in Limpopo. And when we were growing up, Arbor Week was just, the planting of trees and so on. But it goes beyond planting of trees nowadays, because it also addresses the problem of food security.
Not only that, South Africa is we are very little in forestry, unlike the other countries, especially South America, even Europe. They are much bigger than us when it comes to forestry, both natural and the commercial forestry. The biggest will be your Amazon in Brazil and the Amazon basin, or it will in Africa, Central Africa. But we are small here. And the world will be better preserved, and the world will be a better place with more forests and more trees. Even your global warming needs to be balanced by the trees and the forest and all that kind of thing. At the present moment, there is more deforestation, which means people are cutting down forestry rather than planting the trees. So it does help. So that's why Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries in the Republic of South Africa is helping that process of putting more trees. But as you have said, not only trees. We are much encouraging now that it should be the fruit trees that are there, so that while we deal with the trees and waiting for to harvest at the later stage, but people get food, so that we create the food security, we create beautification of the world, but also people having food and having some trees for construction of your houses and all that kind of things, so that the world takes the direction that helps the global warming, that helps the food security, purification, and the balance of the earth. It also preserves the erosion, soil erosion, that we have better placed and better preserved soil for other usage of the soil. Otherwise, if you remove trees, it's like taking the blanket off you, and either you get cold or either you get exposed, you have the flu and all that, and the world needs to be taken care of as trees is a blanket of the world.
But do South Africans know the importance of having their trees around them, DM? I mean, you've just mentioned an important aspect here, that people are actually cutting off trees.
There are two reasons for that. Maybe the education is little, but Africa, not necessarily South Africa, but South Africa also, there is a question of survival. For instance, your energy, your fire, because people don't have electricity in Africa, so you use your trees, you cut woods. Sometimes you cut it wet so that it gets dry. That's the first one, but it's also cut for the usage of house building, for accommodation for the people there, and also cut it for food and so that people can eat. So it's a combination of both in Africa. That's why deforestation is bigger in Africa. The non-developmental of areas putting energy, putting electricity and building houses does contribute to the deforestation. That's one. But secondly, it's a war between agriculture and forestry. There's been that war going on. People will remove trees to put so that they can plow and produce food. And those that they deal with forestry, the environmentalists and the other people say protect the forestry. So it's a question forestry vis-a-vis food production and the security of food. So there can be coexistence of those things. That's what we're encouraging. Agro-processing is part of that, of the coexistence of forestry and food production.
All right, DM, that's where we're going to leave it for this morning. But thank you so much for your time.
Thanks very much. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. There you have it. That's the Deputy Minister of the Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, talking to us about the importance of agroforestry. Well, Morning Live takes a break. Don't go away because there is still so much more to come from BNTL Baraka Farm here in Tzaneen.